Hey there guys, and welcome back. Today for our PlayStation fans, we're talking the top 2 PlayStation 4 games that are free to play, and you'll be surprised, Fortnite is not one of them. So welcome to the show. So, we're talking these 2 PlayStation games that are free to play. Dustin's back, by the way. Welcome back, Dustin.
Hey, it's good to be back. It has been a while.
That's a little bit of a stretch for you.
Welcome back. Yeah.
I've been solo over here, kind of doing movie reviews on my own.
Yeah, good to be back. Feels good.
All right, so our first game we're going to talk about today is, which is not Fortnite, but very close to it. It's H1Z1.
Yep.
So this game, just a little quick background. H1Z1 was designed as a zombie open world. Like you go around, you find items, guns, weapons, and you just survive the zombies in the world. But then they suddenly took it and they turned it into a battle royale style. I guess because they saw all the.
That's interesting.
Interesting,
like
right?
Every other company's doing.
Well, yeah. So as they saw the progress from PUBG from Xbox. Yeah. And then they saw Fortnite, Fortnite's like one of the largest played games currently today. I think
probably is the largest when you count in the mobile presence now too. PC, PlayStation, Xbox.
All of them. Yeah. So they have the whole market going. So H1Z1 is PlayStation only, but it is their version that's kind of combating against PUBG. That's a similar style.
Yeah.
And I say that because Fortnite, what we couldn't really get into was like all the building bases. Like so you have to like build things along the way to kind of, so as you get toward the end of the game, you have to kind of start building these staircases and things that block you. And
it's like a build-off at the end of every Fortnite game.
It is.
It just got really frustrating for us.
We just want to shoot
people.
We just want to shoot people.
So it's the art style of Fortnite. I kind of dig it. It's cool. It's kind of cartoony. The guns are interesting. The environment's interesting. Like I like the aspect of it.
Yeah.
If it just wasn't for the building.
I mean, and breaking stuff down, that's kind of cool too. But
it was it was unique for them at the time as they're kind of coming out in their space against like a PUBG. Then they're able to provide something different.
Which almost led them to a lawsuit, which ended up getting dropped. But anyways, we're not going to get into all that.
But just not for us. So
yeah. So but for H1Z1, very cool. You get to use vehicles in this one. They've actually just gone out of their beta, which is kind of funny because it was in beta forever, and they haven't really changed a whole lot. But it's fairly bug free. So yeah, you use vehicles to get around from place to place. Now they have it so that the gasoline does not just run constantly. So basically, as you're driving around, you're using the resources from the car, and eventually that car will shut off. Yeah, Dustin and I found that out the hard way.
During the beta, I would say that was one of the frustrating things about the game is people could drive around in cars for hours and really no consequence. Yep. And as the zone shrinks down and you get to a smaller space, you're just driving around in cars. So now you've got to be very careful with your boost. Your gas does run out fairly quickly. You're kind of looking for other cars maybe to jump into. And
you can shoot at those cars. I mean, it does damage, but you have to do some serious damage, and it's hard to hit sometimes the players too. But they have a great variety of weapons, everything from pistols to shotguns to machine guns to
rocket launchers, crossbows,
so they all that cool stuff. Then you have medipacks and bandages to kind of, and then there's this poison zone that keeps closing in. So if you're like, well, what if the people just decide to just stay in the outskirts? Well, they can't forever because at every 2 minutes or something like that, it keeps shrinking down and shrinking down. If you get caught in the green gas, you're donezo.
And I will say, I think the gas cloud is stronger now out of beta because we used to be able to kind of survive out there for a bit with med kits. And we played the other night, and I was dying pretty fast toward the end.
You got stuck in that building.
Got stuck out in the gas zone. So this is definitely a more realistic style combat, like battle royale shooter. I think we like that aspect of it too. The weapons are more realistic. But combat's more realistic.
And maybe for like a more kid-friendly style, I guess maybe that's where Fortnite kind of wins out because it's like you're using weapons and shotguns, but it's kind of in a playful cartoony sort.
Yeah.
But H1, it is free to play. You do not need a
You do not need PlayStation Plus account.
Oh, well, account, right.
You can download it for free and play for free. There obviously are microtransactions for cosmetic stuff, which that's how they make their money.
Get yourself a free shirt, a little shirt or some shoes.
But you can earn that stuff in-game.
Yeah, it takes a long time, but you can.
It has a battle pass mechanic similar to Fortnite. So if you're looking for a more realistic battle royale shooter experience, H1Z1 is what you want to look for.
Cool. So now to get straight into our next one, which is I know a big favorite of yours, Dustin.
Probably one of my favorite games over the past couple of years. It's called Smite. You may have never heard of it, and that was one of the weird things for me is The game's not advertised very well. If you weren't playing around on the PlayStation Store looking at like the free games, you may never even see it.
Yeah.
So Smite is a MOBA, and if you're not familiar with kind of what that is, so MOBA is a multiplayer online battle arena. There have been a few games on PC that have kind of dominated that space. I think Dota 2 was kind of the first one. League of Legends is really big right now. Heroes of the Storm from Blizzard is another one. Those were all PC games, and they were kind of based on a top-down perspective. So you're pointing and clicking to move your characters around, which I'm not a fan of that.
Yeah.
Even back in like Diablo days on PC, I was never a fan of that movement style.
Yeah, this one has completely free movement.
This one is third person over the shoulder. Obviously, your controller stick is moving the character around.
Right.
And I think the biggest difference is it requires skill to land even auto attacks. If you're a ranged character in Smite, you have to aim and shoot your auto attacks and hit the opponent, which requires a little bit more skill than just being
the magic or your arrows. If you're an archer or whatever, you have to actually get them in that path, or otherwise you're missing them, which I find it's tough because they're moving around so dang much.
And you really have to get used to aiming and kind of leading opponents. But so the premise of the game, it's called Smite. It's based on a lot of different mythologies and gods, basically. So
how many gods?
The game has, oh my god, I think 88 different gods you can play as, which is insane, and they're all very unique. I'll say that there are 5 different classes which kind of group them together, but you have guardians and warriors who are more tanky, kind of your frontline defense. You have assassins that are more kind of in-your-face melee damage. You have mages that are more ranged magic damage, and hunters that are ranged physical damage.
Right.
So all of those classes are kind of generalized, but each god in those classes feels very unique.
Yep.
Different skill sets. You have 3 abilities. You have an ultimate ability, each god. So you kind of have to learn what those are. But the premise of the game, and if you're not familiar with MOBAs, there are a few different game modes, but generally speaking, you have your team, the enemy team, and there are towers kind of set up as defense lines, and usually a kind of an end-based, in Smite it's called a Titan.
Right. And
so the objective is to move across the map, killing smaller minions as they come and kind of clash in the middle.
Right.
Take over enemy camps, take out enemy towers, and then ultimately take out the enemy Titan. In doing this, you're obviously combating the other players, and you run into skirmishes. So the one where it's
just one single lane, that's the joust, right?
Yeah. So there's a joust, which is basically 3 versus 3 with one single lane. The conquest mode is the default mode, I would say, where a lot of like the pro tournaments are played. But it's 3 lanes with jungle camps in the middle. Pretty big map. I will say we can get into more conversations on Conquest in later videos. There's a lot of strategy here, which is one of the reasons I like the game.
So those are your 2 kind of like you say, you got your certain amount of players or certain amount of players, but like there's different, like you said, lanes. So you have to kind of defend them, attack when ready.
Yeah.
It's a lot of strategy in those. Now, for those who are just more simplistic, just want to get out there and just beat some ass, you have the awesome arena.
The arena.
The arena is, I think, my most favorite, just because I just kind of want to get out there and just attack some stuff. That's just my style. But there's strategy too. I mean,
there's some strategy to the arena. There's a lot of team composition strategy there, because all these gods have different abilities, especially the powerful ultimate abilities that kind of you level up throughout the game.
That phoenix that flies through and just wipes your way like a big bird.
So you kind of want to strategize your team comp to leverage those things. But I think the other big piece about this game and MOBAs in general is everybody's on a level playing field. So
starting off right.
You don't collect items in this game. It's not like a grindy loot hunter like a Destiny or an RPG would be.
You start with the same stuff. I mean, you can set up your own.
You could set up some things, but basically when the game starts, you are level 1 or level 3, depending on where the game starts you. But everybody starts in the same place.
Right.
You start with a certain amount of gold, and then you have your ability. So at level 1, you can level up 1 ability.
Yep.
As you level and you gain more levels, you can unlock the other abilities or make the other abilities stronger. So as you unlock all of the abilities, then each new level, you're making the ability stronger at your choice, whichever one you think is kind of the most important ability for you to use.
Yep.
But as you're earning gold, then you are actually buying items too to make your character stronger. And there are a lot of different items, which I will say, if you're a new player, there's an option when you're selecting characters to turn on an auto buy system. I would recommend it. And until you get the feel for what the items do, because it can be overwhelming.
It is,
and I think that can turn players off the game. So
and there's a bunch of videos out there too that will show
you. A lot
of
videos
those.
to show you. If you read through the items and really start to get a feel for what they do, then you understand which ones are more important for your character. But the auto buy system will generally set you up with a decent build as you're leveling throughout each game. So each game is unique.
Yep.
Each game you have to level and do well in order to get more gold, to buy items,
and
to
depending
be
on
stronger
the
than
characters that have been chosen on both sides, the game can go totally different just because this is and also the players' game playing styles.
Yes.
Which it's good if you have friends on this one. If you don't, try to keep the communication lines open because it could turn into a cluster.
Yeah.
But
very much kind of like a chess style. It's almost like a chess style game when I think of it. It's a lot of moving forward, moving backward, retreating, moving forward, retreating.
Yep.
I think the biggest piece of advice I can give you is just don't die. If you could focus on not dying instead of always attacking and trying to kill, it's a different mindset in this game. You're going to do better if you're playing more defensive and trying to just stay alive. If you stay alive, generally you're going to do much better than trying to get out there and chase a kill.
So one little caveat with this, though. If you do decide and really get into Smite, you don't have access to all 88 gods from the start, right? So you have to pay for the Ultimate God Pack. And there may be a few smaller packs. I didn't check on that part. But the Ultimate God Pack is $30, $29.99. Not bad considering what the game offers you. And there's a ton of gameplay you can use.
Yep.
But I would try the game out first. See if you enjoy it. They give you how about
so you start off with 5 free gods. And then those gods are going to be with you all the time. Then each week they rotate through 5 different gods that you could play for free. So every week that list rotates, which is kind of cool to see new ones every week. You can buy them with in-game currency.
The more you play, the more you win.
It would take a little bit to earn enough. But if you feel like you're liking the game, you want to spend the $30, that does unlock any future god too, because they update this game pretty often.
Yeah, that's true.
I think just this year they've brought out 5 gods just this year. So that unlocks any god in the future, which I bought it a few years ago, and I've been able to kind of see that, and it's been kind of nice. So, but yeah, don't spend your money right away. Go play it, give it a shot. Play some of the AI. There's some training modes against the AI.
I should probably do that more.
Yeah, maybe this guy should try that.
These guys, I try to just do my part and not get killed.
You're getting better.
Just not get killed. That's the key part.
But those are the main pieces I want to hit on Smite. Again, we'll have another video at some point talking more details and strategy, because I could talk forever on this game.
Totally nerd out. Not that we would do that here. So
that's not me.
I wouldn't do it. But yeah, so those are our top 2 free-to-play games on the PlayStation 4 currently. There are other ones out there. Like again, Fortnite, definitely not a bad game, just not in our top 2. But a lot of people are playing it. It's a lot of fun. So check that out too. Keep looking out for the PlayStation. So that was all we wanted to hit on today. So again, we had a good time talking, and I guess we'll see you at the next time.
Nice to see everyone again.
Peace.